Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of speaking to some of the best global marketing leaders. And I am streaming in here from San Francisco Bay Area, right here at the heart of San Mateo. Very, very excited today to have with us Murray Ross. Very interesting career that you have had in the past. I maybe give some glimpses of it and I'll pass the baton to you to tell us more. But Mary is currently the Senior Director of Marketing at Workday. She takes care of all parts of customer marketing and being a champion of AI in the company, taking care of all the AI implementation. Now it's the need of the hour. People who won't do it, I don't know what happens to them, but Mary comes in from great background of having worked in marketing leadership roles across companies like EMC, which later became Dell EMC, Zendesk, now at Workday. She has had her own entrepreneurial stint of running her own marketing consulting firm as well. So maybe we have lots to uncover today. But so glad and excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Excited to be here.
Awesome. I really love the energy. I know you said you've been most of the time on the other side of the camera, managing this with customers. Yes. I hope it feels good to be on this side.
It's generally not my cup of tea. My team will laugh at me when they see this, but no, actually, I'm pretty excited to be here. And now with all of my experience behind the camera, it is different and unique to be on the other side.
And thanks so much for making it much easier for me to, the holy drill, right?
Yeah.
So it's much easier for me to guide you through the guidance of what are the best practices on the show, right? But maybe we jump in. I'd love to begin the conversation with, so we usually structure these conversations as your personal, your professional, and your AI careers. And I put it this way, that's like three broad segments. After that, we have like a surprise segment, more like no surprise, but the questions are going to be surprise. They're more like the rapid fire round that we do. So we do more fun part of things over there.
Great.
But maybe we'll begin with knowing you better. Like, where do you grow up? I, of course, asked you a lot of things before we started. So maybe for the audience, where do you grow up? Most people don't start a career in marketing. They land up into it. So how do you go about marketing? And I mean, how do you land to where you are today? Maybe that journey, how was it? Over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So I did my undergrad at UC Davis, which is not far from here. And I worked on campus at a department called Sports Information. And so basically what Sports Information does for a university campus is does the PR for all of the sports teams on campus. A lot of people don't know it exists. Mm-hmm. And so that's basically when I started to fall in love with public relations. And that's where early in my career I got started. So we did all of the PR from interviews to pulling athletes off to talk to media after games, from football to basketball to wrestling to baseball to soccer. I grew up, my dad was a coach, and so I wanted to be around sports. And then...
Did you play one?
I did not play one. I was a cheerleader. But when I graduated from college, I knew I wanted to do public relations, but sports public relations is predominantly sports are on at night and on the weekends. Right. And I knew that I wanted to have a family and that would be really hard to juggle. So I decided to try and find a public relations position with a company. And I landed a job. I was employee number 13 at a little PR company called Outcast Communications. And if people don't remember, Outcast had a fairly small startup client, a little company called Salesforce. Mm-hmm. And so they were one of our big brand name customers or clients when I was there. But what I loved about Outcast Communications were our founders and our leaders, and they truly taught me so much about women in leadership, empowering teams, coaching people. And so really the sky was the limit and I got to be a sponge. My managers there were amazing. I'm still friends with them. I'm still in contact with our founders. And it was a really wonderful time. And that really kind of provided me a wonderful example and model of how I wanted to be a leader as I grew up in a career of marketing.
That's super awesome. I mean, that's a fantastic story. I mean, I've not heard a lot of people coming in from sports journalism into core B2B marketing altogether. It's a upside down shift in that case. But maybe we dive a bit more deep into your professional career, right? You've had amazing experiences. You went on to a company like an EMC, the mammoth It was before the
That was the
acquisition, I
mammoth.
would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
You moved out right before the merger
Yes.
with Dell, but you might have seen the sidelines of what the M&A looks like being in a marketing team in an M&A. People don't speak a lot about it, right? So I
Yeah.
would say that part. And then interestingly, this pre-COVID era of the growth phase of Zendesk, which is when I mean, now it's become a mammoth giant, but I think back then it was the more growth phase company, right? So
Yeah.
maybe the both of them would definitely do a separate round on Workday altogether. But I'd love to understand your journeys at both of these companies.
Yeah.
What did life look like? How were things? How were people?
Yeah.
What did a day in the life of a Murray look like?
Yeah, at EMC, I was the global director of our customer advocacy team. So I had a globally dispersed team. But before the Dell merger with EMC, there was a lot of transformation happening at the company. The CMO at the time really was looking to consolidate and really focus on brand magnetism from a marketing perspective, right? And with 9 diverse business units because of, acquisitions over time, that can be challenging. And so really we needed to transform the team. I would say that transformation project really guided me and helped me create a formula that I still use today from a success perspective. When I'm coming in, I love, I've been coined an agent of change. I like to thrive in ambiguity, complex problems. And so transforming the reference team at EMC before the acquisition was an opportunity to kind of learn under my vice president and CMO. So all of our business units, there was 9 of them, had their own vice presidents of marketing.
Okay.
So I had to create a model in which we could support the company and really achieve that goal of brand magnetism for EMC without diluting it with all of the different products.
So you were more like a horizontal team across the 9 buildings.
Exactly. We needed to be, right?
Interesting.
Instead of having all of our folks inside the business units. So it was a huge undertaking, but it was a lot of fun and I learned a ton. And like I said, it helped me create a formula that we used in our consulting practice when I started my consulting firm, but also something that I use still today.
Very interesting. I mean, that's the new age version. The new age version of the same model is called product marketing, I say. It's just become fancier and the fundamentals, I think, still remain the same, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to, maybe before we go to the Workday journey, I'd love to go into your entrepreneurial journey, right? It's very difficult. I mean, let me put it this way. Don't take me the other way around, but I just feel like right now fractional executives and consulting firms for marketer have become like ways out of their career. And it's so many of them. I was just checking yesterday, yesterday night. There are more than 73,000 individuals in the United States of America, just like the United States of America, who call themselves fractional executives. And they have been in the past in companies upwards of 500 employees.
Wow.
So I was just surprised on the fact that what is happening over here. I mean, is there enough work or are these people not having work?
Yeah.
And then there is a chicken egg problem altogether where everyone turns out to be a salesperson after a point in time. That's my general feeling. But I'd love to know from you, what provoked you to start your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah.
And what provoked you to also move out of it? I think that either two parts are important. So let me ask you the journey around it though.
Okay, so this is actually kind of a fun story. So I had a business partner. We founded Next Level Customer Marketing together in 2016, but we had the idea years before that. I was getting my MBA at St. Mary's College, and I was in an entrepreneur class, and I needed to create a business plan. And so her and I had always talked about creating our own consulting firm for customer marketing. So we created this business plan, and then the opportunity presented itself. And so we just jumped 2 feet first into it. And we had a ton of fun. I will say that running your own business, and from Pepper, is, I would encourage anybody that is interested in being an entrepreneur or in corporate America to run your own business for a point in time. And if you're successful, wonderful, because it's really hard, right? So,
but even if you're not, I think that's the best learning experience.
100%, right? Because you are every department. You're IT. So if your email goes down, you are IT for the day, right? If you are finance, right? If you bring on contractors or employees, you have to run payroll, right? And you have to learn how to do all of that. Oh, by the way, your sales, your marketing, right? And then you also have to do all of the work, right? So
operations.
It is completely, like you said, the best learning experience. And so that can be a challenge in and of itself, but we had a wonderful time. And that's actually how we got introduced to Zendesk. And so I would say I'll go back to you talked about.
Were they like your customers?
Yeah, so they were. So I'll go back to, going from EMC to consulting to Zendesk. The cultures, the company cultures at EMC were very much that old school corporate culture, right? You wear suits every day. You don't wear jeans to work. It was very political, more like government, right? And then we started doing a consulting project with Zendesk where we were trying to help the new head of integrated marketing basically take her integrated marketing campaigns and drive them in the field through the field marketing organization. So we came in to help her implement all of those things. And while I was there, I absolutely fell in love with the Zendesk culture, with the people, with the founder, what they were trying to do. And you talked a little bit about kind of that growth era of Zendesk. I got to be part of that, but I also got to mentor people. They had a wonderful internship program. They had marketing associates that were new in their career. And it reminded me of my time at Outcast Communications and where I got to teach and mentor and coach people through their career. And I'm still friends with some of the folks that I got to mentor through my time at Zendesk.
That's super awesome. I mean, there's also this pre-COVID era of happening, and then it went through the roof, right?
Yes.
I wanna ask you the next part of the conversation about Workday, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling you right before this, I love Workday as a brand. Firstly, I'd love to know more insights on that, definitely. And there's been this great talent density I see at Workday. I mean, I've seen profiles of a lot of people at Workday, and I've seen the kind of backgrounds they come with, the kind of depth that come in with the verticalized focus. I would say the verticalized thickness of talent that comes in with an individual, that is very important. Sometimes what happens is people just go to multiple companies and land up somewhere.
Yeah.
But still the thickness is not that high.
Yeah.
I mean, it's variation, but there's no thickness in that, right?
Yeah.
I would ask you the first question of how's life at Workday?
Good.
And more about how do you guys look at marketing? The brand has been amazing. I love the branding.
Yeah.
So love to get a sense around a lot of these things that you can probably share with us.
So I was originally attracted to Workday for two reasons. One, because they had a very similar culture to Zendesk, and that was really important to me from a career growth perspective and just the kind of people that I wanted to be around. And they had an amazing reputation for just having good humans, right? So I'm all about just surrounding myself with good humans doing their best work. And then maybe I had 3 people on my team from EMC that were at Workday and were texting me often saying, come work with us, come work with us. So at Workday, one of our core company values is employees. Everything is about employees first. And that's true in every department that you see. And so you feel that every day when you're working. And then to be around people that just really want to help each other and drive the brand forward, to work in a marketing team like that is a really wonderful experience because you just feel like you're working as one team.
Interesting. And let me also ask you a question on the talent part. And maybe I'm asking you a question you mentioned a couple of times in the conversation today about mentoring young people, fresher associates coming in, you having got mentored with the right set of people early in your life, right? Today in this era of AI particularly, right, it's very difficult to find the need of why do you need a particular talent. Like the specialization has now become far more important than just the generalization talent, right? The second part of the talent is, once the talent is on board, how do you upskill them? How do you ramp them up? The first thing would be ramp. The second thing would be upskilling, right? Those are two very, very important parts of how you define the culture at the company also, right? I'd love to ask you, particularly for marketing, and this is not very centric to Workday particularly, I would say in general with your experiences, how do you go about choosing the right talent, one? And second, how do you go about ramping that talent up when they join your company? Because their success or failure depends on the first 3 months of their job.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'd love to get a sense.
Workday has an amazing HR team. So at Workday, we don't call it human resources. We call it people and purpose. And so people and purpose short, P&P for short. We have an amazing P&P team at Workday, and they do a ton of leadership trainings throughout the course of the year to make sure that we're maintaining our culture. And so I think that's a critical piece of the Workday culture and values in action is our P&P team. And the second piece is there are amazing leadership trainings and programs, but also trainings and programs for every level of the organization. So people coming in new get all of that support, but then leaders who may have been trained or grown up in other parts of the company, they get trained on the Workday culture and how we build employees, train employees, grow employees, right? So that they can maximize their growth potential. And then that helps the employee feel motivated and then to upskill. We also have a program called gigs where basically you can do short stints in other teams. So let's say Rising is a huge event for us annually. We do basically 80% of our customer content comes out of our Rising show. We shoot it. So 80% of our content gets shot at our Rising conference. So we need extra help. What a great opportunity for someone who might want to learn about customer marketing or video production or storytelling, creating a narrative messages. So we can post a gig and then we have people apply for it, we interview for it, and then they get to spend time with us a certain number of hours if they're in good standing with their manager to do a gig on our team to help us get ready for the show. So it's a great opportunity. Again, I think the Workday...
That's a part of the culture thing.
100%.
It's all outcome of the culture.
Yeah.
I think that brings me to another set of questions I have, especially on the topics around integrated marketing and customer marketing, right? And firstly, I believe that's an overabused term, integrated marketing. What does it really mean becomes difficult. See, you coming from an experience of having worked in agency, entrepreneurial stints, larger companies, M&As, so you have had a varied set of experiences, right? I would first ask you, what are your perspectives on integrated marketing as a whole? And probably then have a couple of questions on customer marketing, but let's begin with integrated marketing.
Yeah, you're right. It is an overused term. Integrated marketing for companies is really hard. I don't think that there are very many companies that are actually doing integrated marketing. It's so easy for leaders within a marketing organization to get caught up in their own goals, right? And not only their own goals, but working in silos. And it's so critically important from an integrated marketing perspective to have east-west relationships and communications from a leadership perspective, especially in a marketing organization, and to ensure that everybody is aligned on the same goals, right? And ladder up. And that really comes from leadership and digging deep and really making sure that your teams are collaborating, you're aligned on the same goals. You guys are not only participating in a overall marketing goals and objectives and QBRs, but you're participating in each other's QBRs, right? To ensure that you guys are pulling things together. So really make sure that you're truly doing integrated marketing. There's, again, not a lot of companies that do integrated marketing. They might say they do integrated marketing.
Right.
But if a leader can pull marketing teams together and if you can actually do integrated marketing, there's a huge impact and a success from doing it and doing it right.
And that also, I'd love to even ask you a question maybe around customer marketing.
Sure.
Actually, it relates to from here, right?
100%.
Let me ask you a very pinpointed part. This is a part that I think a couple of CMOs, in fact, have asked me in the past, right?
Yeah.
See, when we all made those IDA funnels, if you remember back in MBA schools, right? Those marketing funnels, they've changed altogether, right? Yeah. But there's one part of that funnel where we never focused a lot about, and that was actually between loyalty and advocacy. And I'd love to point that to you, right? And tell, could you share a bit more about this integrated marketing bit stitched into what translates from making a loyal customer and advocate?
Yeah.
Because not everyone who loves you would go out in the world and say that we love you.
Yes.
But for others to love you, you'll have to ask the people who love you to tell to the world that they love you.
Yes.
And I think that's the core part of what first principles of customer marketing come in from, right?
Yeah.
Here you are actually in that integrated marketing zone of working with not just marketing, but also customer success team, sales team, account managers, solution engineers. You're working with a bunch of people around the board, right?
Yes.
Could you share some insight on what does it take to get a customer from being a loyalist to being an advocate?
Yeah.
And that journey, I think, is a goal of marketing.
Yeah.
So let's start with integrated marketing work first.
Yeah. So in terms of the relationship, right? If you can get some of your loyal customers, especially ones that potentially work for big brand name customers, right? For a tech company, that's the golden ticket, right? That's what you want. You want those big brand name customers. Your loyalists from a product perspective at a big brand name customer. And then you have to hope that that big brand name customer is willing or allowed to let that person talk on your company's behalf. That is hard to find, right? That right mix. But if you can, that's where customer marketing can play very, very well into an overall integrated marketing campaign and team, because you can use those big brand name customer examples at the top of the funnel, right, to pull them in. And now you get into being an advocate, right? So
Interesting.
A loyalist can quickly become an advocate because when they're talking from a marketing perspective, you're getting visibility, right? Brand recognition. You're building your own personal brand. The best loyalists to advocates are those that are looking for career advancement, right?
Very cool.
They're on the cusp of senior director, maybe vice president, looking to break into chief, right? Titles. They want to talk. They want to be on camera. They want to do the interviews. They want to do the speaking.
And they would also speak the practitioner's language rather than the sponsor's language, I would say.
That's 100%, right? And so that's really the nirvana. So if you can get all of that working together, you can get those big brand name customers, those VP C-level speakers to do top of funnel. But then I like to deploy a tactic that I call shoot once, create many or multiple, right? So big brand name customer agrees to do a video shoot, you go in, but you don't want to just interview that one person. You want to interview top to bottom, right? You want to capture the full story so that you can do exactly what you just said. Full funnel integrated marketing, right? You're capturing the story and then you're chunking up the pieces of content for all of those folks. The social team so that they can put it on social. Right. Then you drive traffic to the customer story. There's the customer marketing or advocacy team, right? Or maybe there's one in the middle where you're capturing a thought leadership blog. Maybe the executive sits down and talks about how AI is actually being implemented at the company, right? From that perspective. So there's a thought leadership blog, it drives to a customer story, then you've got a set of slides for a salesperson to use, right? And then it's full funnel marketing.
Marketing. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we see a lot of these companies come to us at Pepper as well, asking for something like this. And we usually say the same thing. It's more like you don't have to think every time of what content is to be created on each channel. You can define the theme centrally and then you actually get everyone to speak the same thing. That is a much more better impact than every channel speaking its own language. Yeah. In that case.
100%, right? But that two things. You have to build relationships with your peers, right? And you also have to understand the data. So like from a content perspective, you need to understand how your content is performing in each of your marketing channels so that you can basically dial up or dial down some of those channels, right? Otherwise, you're wasting valuable resources. Right.
Interesting. This is super cool. I'd love to even go a couple of notches ahead towards AI.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you've been known for the AI implementation person in marketing at Workday.
Yeah.
And there are a bunch of people, I'm hoping, but not everyone is AI native, right? Now, my first question to you is about the AI native marketer.
Yeah.
Now, there are two kinds of people, I believe. There's AI enabled and AI native. Okay. AI enabled are the people who are using a bunch of SaaS AI tools and trying to use them. AI natives are who are actually building workflows that are in the AI.
Yes.
And there's a fundamental difference between them. I don't think most people even understand this difference in the first go. My first question to you is, what do you think of marketers being AI native, and how do you think that cusp is going to happen? Because I mean, I know everyone is fascinated by it, but how many people really do understand right now? I'm skeptical about it.
Yeah.
So that,
and make sure you tell me if I'm answering the question. I actually read your post on AI native before coming, but right now, I believe that marketers are seeing the power and the potential of AI from a marketing perspective. But a lot of companies are really just scratching the surface in terms of using AI to generate content or speed up work, right? That is the tip of the iceberg. And if companies aren't looking at AI, or marketing teams aren't looking at AI, how they scale their marketing teams and how they personalize their marketing using AI, then they're behind, right? Their marketing team should already be having tiger teams that are basically sole job is to transform marketing processes using AI natively, right? So how do I build a campaign using AI? And then how do I use the AI to segment that campaign with a click of a button rather than a team of 8 campaign managers, right? And then those campaign managers, instead of figuring out how to build content or don't have enough resources to build content, the AI can use components of content that it just pulls from, and then it just puts it together. So I think that's where the real power of AI is from a marketing process perspective. But I do think that companies have really only scratched the surface. And if you have not created a team that's dedicated to transforming your marketing processes using AI, then you're going to be behind.
Very interesting. And I 100% agree to you. I've been a bit advocate and vocal about it on LinkedIn these days about it, on saying why, because I believe fundamentally, I'll tell you what I'm forecasting for now, right? Next quarter, budget cycles are gonna come. This is the CEO and the CFO, etc., are gonna come to marketers and tell them that your budget would be reduced. If not budgets reduced, your ROI expectations would skyrocket, because now a lot of things are possible with AI agents, particularly, right? At this cusp, a particular marketing leader has two choices: either to curb their team down or make them AI native.
That's right.
Do that. Now, problem is no one knows how to exactly do it. And we're also at Pepper saying that probably we would become partners in places like these. But single point SaaS tools just trying to do something with AI, and then after a year you realize, oh, how much impact has it added? When you measure it, it's like, oh, wow, it was nothing almost. Like this would have done, had you had one person and done that. Right. So,
but I also think that the AI technology is changing so rapidly.
Every 2 weeks.
Right, exactly. So you might bring in a tool, right?
Which is not relevant after
Correct.
a point in time.
Exactly. You just whizzed right past it, right?
Exactly.
And that's the crazy part about AI.
In fact, I'd like to do my own marketing over here at Pepper, but I definitely say 100% agree to what you say.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why point blank SaaS tools have lesser value than a platformized approach.
Correct.
Where you say that the platform is natively integratable with whatever changes happen in the industry. But at the end of it, see, I'll tell you, Murray, I mean, my perspective on this, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. I believe after the advent of AI, marketing goals haven't changed.
Yeah.
The company still cares about the pipe. The company still cares about the customers. The company still cares about the advocate. AI has just changed the means.
Correct.
But the ends have still been the same, right?
Correct.
The point is that most people think that AI is the means to an end.
Yeah.
Like AI itself is the end, but AI is not the end, right?
No.
So you sometimes make a call on saying, do I really need AI for one particular task?
Correct.
And sometimes the answer is no.
No.
You don't, right? Because you don't have that skill to get an AI to do that, right?
Yeah.
Most marketers, I think, are missing on this very fundamental point at the top, which is like a very first principles angle in that case. And it's also this advent of marketers being right brain or left brain. There are some marketers who are very right brain. So they're not able to think of the AI transformation as such. And sometimes you might happen that you might not want to do your hero campaigns with AI, but you might want to do the the surrounds of it with AI. And right, AI might not be doing the actual marketing work, but the sideline work in general, right?
That's right.
So you got to think about AI transformation. It's more like a reformation of sorts rather than just plugging things in the system. But sorry, I become very vocal.
We're gonna coin the term, right? Now the next, it used to be digital transformation. It's going to be AI transformation.
Right? And we're seeing that,
right? Yeah. You were 100% right. Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate of that. I've been vocal about it. I don't know if that's going to play in favor of me or against, but I just think like it's the right time to be vocal about it because people are wanting to hear from someone. I mean, I don't know if you know, but Pepper was the first, like we were the first few users of GPT-3 in the world.
Really?
So we've lived our journey on seeing these hype cycles of plus, minus, plus, and right now minus, and now again plus.
Yeah.
So there's been like a 2-curve sinusoidal that has already happened with the AI hype cycle. We've seen that ourselves.
Yeah.
So, but cool. I'd love to ask you maybe towards the end of the conversation now, but I'd love to ask you one last question about what are suggestions you would give to marketing teams coming up?
Yeah.
You said interestingly, people should have an entrepreneurial stint as well. A lot of marketers do think that. People get bored on doing the one same thing of marketing again. They want to do it with multiple people, etc. I'd love to hear from younger team, from you on what do you recommend younger teams to upskill themselves, think of it, work in a larger company, small company, the classic fresher marketer challenges that people go through. What are your thoughts about that?
Honestly, AI, right? Like as a young person, you need to be educated and versed on how companies can use AI and not, like I said earlier, not just from a content creation perspective, but how are you using it from a business process perspective to enhance, to scale, right? And to personalize. It's going to be a competitive differentiator, not only for the young person, but for the company
as a whole.
Yeah.
It's become a leverage now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
are you seeing that with new hiring as well? Like when you hire new people, do you see that as a skill set? Not yet. It's still slow for larger companies, I would say, but they're getting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. I think this has been fantastic. Thanks so much. You made me passionate about a topic I wanted to speak about. I always keep on speaking about this, but thanks for that. I move to the last set of the conversation, which is the rapid fire. Let me tell you the truth. All the questions that we told you that we'd ask you in rapid fire, we're not going to ask you those. So now it's a bunch of
I have no idea what you're
questions.
Going to ask me, so I am not prepared at all.
Let's go.
Okay.
6 seconds to answer any question. First thing that comes to your mind, just speak that out. These questions are not related to marketing questions. So let's go with that. Perfect. If not marketing, what do you think? What job would you be doing?
I would run a dog rescue organization.
Oh, wow. Do you have a dog?
I have a dog, and my son and I, during the pandemic, started doing volunteer work for a wonderful Bay Area nonprofit called Golden Gate Labrador Retriever Rescue. And they're an amazing organization. We still do volunteer work with them today.
Amazing. That's so cool.
But I don't have a lab.
You don't have a lab?
I know. Hilarious.
It's okay, but you're already going to work with labs over there. So it's fine.
Yes.
So that's first. Brings me to the next one. What is that one job at work you want to swap with?
Oh. I only have 6 seconds. The social impact team.
Social impact team?
Yeah.
Oh. I see now the kind of person that it's becoming up, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice.
You sense a theme.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
It's nice. What's your most comfort food?
Oh, pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah.
What style of pizza? New York style pizza?
Well, I was born and raised in California, so I've only been in New York a couple of times. So I would say California traditional style pizza.
Awesome. Okay. Next one for you is, what is your best favorite travel destination?
Oh, Cabo San Lucas.
Why is it so?
Because it's relaxing and the people are amazing and the service is unmatched.
Hospitality max.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
super cool. If you were to take one road trip across the world, what would it be and why?
Across the world?
Any place across the world that you've dreamt of, you've seen through in pictures, you've known people going, anything?
Oh, boy. Oh, I really want to go to Montana.
Mm-hmm.
and I want to explore more of the forests and lakes. Actually, particularly in California.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, California has some best world trips. So.
Yes, I would really like to retire. My dream is to own a lake house.
Amazing.
On a lake. So right now, currently, I have started to basically do weekend trips on lakes in the northern part of the country.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a boring question in that case. What are the 3 tabs that are always open on your laptop screen except for the email and the G Suite or whatever suite you use of Microsoft or whatever?
Oh, God.
Like as a marketer.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh, it's not that tough a question. Come on.
Well, I mean, really, it's email, calendar, and Google Docs. But now it's Gemini, right?
Yeah.
Or ChatGPT, because I like to compare.
Yeah.
Those are always...
Like Rock.
Yeah, always open, or some kind of presentation that I'm working on.
Awesome. That's nice. And maybe the last question I would ask you is, what's your most favorite brand? And what brand is something that you really like, but you think they don't do their marketing well?
Oh, God, that's hard.
I know.
As
I have an answer for
marketer-
that, though.
Oh, you do? I'm kind of interested. Okay, you start, and then that'll help.
Maybe
Help.
I feel like Lululemon.
Okay.
I love the brand.
Yes.
But whenever I see something that Lululemon has done, unless they put a logo on it, I never recognize it's Lululemon.
Okay.
Unless their logo comes up.
Okay.
So I think they can do a better job at conveying what they mean by their marketing.
Okay.
And this is majorly for their billboards.
Yeah. Okay. I love Stitch Fix.
Oh, nice.
Love Stitch Fix.
You're like a loyal customer.
I'm a total loyal customer
Awesome.
for Stitch Fix. And because I'm a full-time working mom who does not have time to
I
shop.
get it.
So it is literally perfect for me.
I have had someone who has told me this earlier. But still,
I highly recommend Stitch Fix. And then my new brand that I'm becoming, and I think they could do more marketing, is Away, the luggage.
the luggage.
Yeah.
I've seen them on Instagram though.
Yeah, see.
But like I have not known too much of them.
Right. They need to hit an influencer or
Something about-
celebrity to wear.
They get a shout out right now.
There they go.
There you go.
They got a shout out.
Awesome. This has been so fun, Mary. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
We went in to discuss a lot of things on the
Yeah,
conversation.
absolutely.
We went to all latitude. So thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
And appreciate the time you spent.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome.